Welcome back. It is 1659, last year of the decade. Very exciting. In the last one, we had Delilah and Austin's ghost having a few smoochies. Anqui and Bernard and their family spending some time together. Nita and Yona going on a failed date. Abigail and Philip being really mad at Priscilla. And Phineas kind of really thinking about what his future will hold. So, we have a lot of birthdays this year. We have Canon Chet and Waldrick and Verity Hobart becoming children, no 13 or 19. All set. And, ooh. Well. Sorry, Verity. Next we have Phineas and Silence. Oh my gosh, I can't even. My heart is like, okay, no 3, 9, or 20. Phineas, please. Oh my goodness. Well. Well. Oh my goodness. Why is this happening to me? Okay, let's just okay. Everything's fine. I'm gonna start The Sims. Okay, in the meantime, Jonathan Smith and Dakota Waldrick, no 2, 6, 11, 15. I feel like I'm being punished for all the good roles I've had. That is also like the end of that family. Jonathan, like his wife died, his daughter died, now he's dying. Great. Okay. Adult part 2. Philip, Abigail, Priscilla, and Abraham have to get at least a 9. Philip. No. Abigail. Priscilla. Abraham. Okay, well, Philip and Priscilla are also dying this year, of course, because that is the way my life is going. You know what, Priscilla? At least you had a good life in the end there. Bernard Dubois, that is our Bernard, is going to live for 16 more years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Bernard Dubois will be... I did not mean to do that. Will be dying that year. Okay, well, our Bernard is okay. I mean, he'll have nothing left to live for. You guys. Okay, here we are. Okay, let's just take a breath. Let's just take a deep breath and think really hard about the future. Why is this happening to me? Okay, Phineas. What would Phineas even die of? Like overworking himself, maybe? Oh my goodness. You were going to have to save his life. Why is this on fire, exactly? Okay, Phineas. Phineas. Where are you going? Get back in here. Where's Grim? Okay, well, we know... I mean, could you challenge Grim to, like, a dance-off? Parenting level 6. I don't think we have anything really good to challenge Grim with. Unless we turn on some music. Okay. Where is Grim? Do you see him anywhere? There he is. Come on, Grim. Why are you so glitchy and bugged all the time? What is that, a poop? I know I can sell that, so I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Wait, can we challenge him to a dance-off? Wait, hold on. You come here. Now. More choices. Challenge. No, we can't. It can't be chess. That didn't work last time. Let's plead. Let's just good old-fashioned pleading. Is that my... Who smells? Oh, it's the kitchen. It's the... Please. Look at that face. He's just a father. Not wanting to lose both of his children. It didn't work. It didn't work. You guys, how did this happen to me? What do we do? I honestly don't know what to do. I don't know. My mind is spinning. Should we try to should we play him as his ghost and like try to bring him back to life? But then why didn't we do that with Austin? Oops. Should we just play as Sarah? I had plans for you. I have to think. I have to think, you guys. I have to think. I have to think. Okay. We didn't even talk about the townies. Nyla Harper is becoming an adult. 2, 6, 11, 15. Everyone else survives. Hannah and Chenoa are becoming young adults. No 3, 9, or 20. Well, Hannah just died, so I guess there's that. Amos and Melly are becoming teenagers. No 7 or 14. And then Wamsuda is becoming a child. No 13 or 19. Okay. Seriously. Okay, I have to do some thinking. I really have to do some thinking. I have to like work out different options and think about what that would look like. Okay, we have to think. We can't anyway. I'm just mad now. I've passed the sadness from Austin and I'm into the anger. All right, when you next see me, we will be hopping into the game with the plan. Okay, well, the plan is both for right now. We'll figure it out as we go along. So, first, obviously, we're here with Bernard, who has just lost his only other child. He's lost both of his children. He lost Margaret. He ended up divorced from Solomon. He's not in a good place. He is not in a good place, but he's doing his best, and he is going to mourn his child that just died, even though, I mean, I guess it's been 2 years, technically. Well, maybe 2 years since Austin died. So it's tough because like he probably was finally feeling a little normal again, and then this happens. So I am also inviting Solomon over because Solomon was also their father, and so the two of them are going to mourn together. It's like even though they're not together, they still have this bond where those were their kids. Those were their kids, and they did their best to raise them to be good and do everything they could for them, and still, they both died young. And I'm sure that Bernard wishes that he, had died instead. So it's very tough, and it's just tragic, honestly. Like, it's just tragic, and I'm trying not to get emotional about it because like it's a game, but like also when you think about it, like, these were two young men that had full lives ahead of them, that had been all planned out, and they don't get to do anything now. So what I am going to do, which we'll see in a second, is we are going to play a bit with ghosts, but we're also going to continue on with the living Sims as well. So we'll see where that goes. But for right now, we just have the two of them reminiscing, mourning, doing their best to get through this really, really tough time in their lives. And it is not going to be easier. So they have to figure out what they're going to do and how they're going to move on and how they're going to keep living their lives when, when the future's like been cut short. So it's really, really tough. So what we do have though is Phineas's ghost. Now we do have Austin's ghost over with Delilah right now, and we also have Phineas's ghost here. And we talked a lot about how Phineas had feelings about wanting to help people, wanting to save people, and having that, like, those ideas around the death of his mother. And so death could be a topic for him. It doesn't have to be in healing, it can be in helping people. And so he wants to be a good ghost. And he is kind of just wandering right now. He doesn't really, he's unfulfilled, so he can't really move on. And so he's going around and he's realizing these things he can do to kind of help other people feel better and help, maybe take some of that burden away from the people that he loves. We will see Solomon and Bernard in just a second, but he's practicing right now. And yeah, so Phineas's ghost is doing some things. And I know what you're thinking. Austin was older. We still have his ghost. And he's with Delilah right now. I don't think that Austin would be the type to kind of explore his ghostly powers and all that stuff in a way that I think Phineas could be explained into doing, because he already had those feelings of wanting to help people and of, specifically, around death and dying, because he wanted to save people, but maybe instead his purpose ended up being in order to help people, come to peace with that kind of stuff. And so Phineas has a little bit more of a explanation than I think Austin would in this case. But Austin is having a good time right now. We will see him in this video later. But for right now, we just have Phineas, who is starting to learn more about himself as a ghost, starting to kind of figure out what he has going on, even though he's really upset and he wants to comfort his family, which we'll see right here is him comforting them. But even though it is really tough, like, I don't think that he necessarily, like, I think that he's sad because he did have a life ahead of him, but he wasn't as far along, and like, he didn't really have anyone that he loved. Like, he didn't really, like, romantically, and he hadn't really he had his career path derailed already. So it's kind of one of those things where, like, he probably isn't as devastated as Austin about it. I think he's just more sad for his family members because he knows what it's like, and he knows that that's tough. And I did get a notification that Afterlife Anonymous was going on right now. I couldn't find it. Honestly, I haven't played a lot with the Life and Death pack. Like, I mean, besides what comes up in normal gameplay. So I actually think that this is a good opportunity for us, because I have not really played with this at all, and we can play with a ghost for a little while and see how it goes and maybe get a little bit of a feel for this pack. I do want, I mean, maybe not right this second or anytime soon, but I have thought about using the Ultimate Decades Challenge as a way to kind of make sure that I have played every aspect of every pack, if that makes sense, because we're here for so many years that like we will have opportunities to do everything. And so kind of like have my own, we had that list of aspirations that we were going through that I never looked at again. But like, I think it is a good opportunity for us to be able to explore the game in its entirety because I mean, yeah, we're coming to the end of the decade this year, but it's only 1659, and we are living right now in 2025. And honestly, I even want to play further than that. Like, I think it would be fun to go past that and do like a kind of dystopia, like post apocalyptic thing at the end. So we'll see where we go with that. I mean, that would be years away considering my pace right now. But anyway, what we have now is we are at Chogun's house, so we are here with him, and um, Chogun is basically talking to Uncas, who is his eldest son, about what he expects from him, basically. And Uncas is a good boy. He is very much like Supernatural Dean. Dean from Supernatural, if that wasn't clear. He is, a daddy's boy. He is very loyal and obedient, and he follows his father's footsteps. And so Chogun is really excited about that because he does want his son to follow in his footsteps. And I don't want, because like Chogun obviously has been having some issues with people intermarrying. And I don't want to make it seem like Chogun is the only person who has a problem with this. His parents have a problem with it. And people like in our settlement also have a problem with it. Like, I'm sure that Tom wouldn't have been so excited if his son wanted to marry Nita, for example. So there are definitely like not prejudices, but like on both sides. And I don't want to make it seem like Chogun is the only one. It's just that you can see like Chogun is in charge of this very small group of people, and it feels like they're being infiltrated. Like more and more people are marrying outside of just their community, and so because it's already small to begin with, it feels like a lot. And I don't think that that's necessarily wrong for a Chogun to want to preserve like his culture and everything. So I don't want to make him seem like a total bad guy, but the way that he's going about doing this, to our modern sensibilities is not good. But back in the day, he could say to his daughter, like, you need to be he's saying to her right now, like, you need to try harder with Yona. You need to try harder to be, what he wants you to be. You're going to be his wife. You have to, mold yourself to him, like, or he's going to get a new wife. And he honestly, Chogun knows what it's like. He knows what it's like to marry someone and have it just not work out. They were incompatible, like their lives were incompatible. Not that their love was incompatible, but their lives were. And so he is trying very hard to not have that happen to his children, what happened with him and Priscilla. Like, he wants Nita to be able to have a long, happy marriage with someone who's going to take care of her and not abandon her and, have a life with her. And so he's coming at it from like a protective father angle, but of course Nita doesn't see it that way, and she doesn't like that he is trying to tell her what to do. But at the end of the day, he's her father, and she is going to basically do what she's told. So when she sees Yona next, she is going to try and kind of tone down the adventurous side of her. So she's talking to Yona, and she's trying to be is it like amenable? What's the word? Like, she's trying to be nice and trying to be liked by him and everything. And Yona kind of picks up on it because like he's met Nita before, like they spent time together before, and all of a sudden things are kind of different. And so he's like, this is weird. So Yona honestly his family doesn't really care. I mean, he knows his mom is seeing Bernard. Like, he doesn't care about that kind of stuff. So basically, Yona says to her, like, look, Nita, like, you don't have to put on a front for me. Like, if we're going to get married, I want to know the real you. I know that we may not always see eye to eye, but I don't want that to stop you from being yourself. I want you to still be who you are. And I want, like, to fall in love with that person. And she gets a little crush on him, actually. So she gets a little crush on him for saying that. And so she is actually really excited that he said that, because even though she's adventurous and he's kind of a homebody, that doesn't mean that it can't work, and it doesn't mean that they shouldn't be their true authentic selves. And so Yona is very much like, he doesn't want to marry someone fake, like he wants to marry the real her if they fall in love like that. And I mean, their parents arranged it already, so they do basically have to marry. But he's like, everybody's sitting inside, and he's like, well, you know what, why don't we go build snow pals? Like he definitely is trying to kind of meet her where she's at. Like he's not really into to the adventure stuff. Like he wants to stay at home, not like I guess not stay at home, like he still wants to do stuff, but like she wants to like climb mountains, and he's like, no, I'm good on that. So he is trying in his own way to come to do more of the things that she likes. And so because she's made an effort to do the things that he likes, so he doesn't mind that. Also, for some reason, they say they're in a snowball fight right now, but they are not snowball fighting. I'm just saying. So anyway, I don't know what's up with this game. But I also haven't updated any of my mods since the update. So I think actually the pack just came out. So anyway, I should get that. I always say I'm going to wait, and then I just buy the pack anyway. And you know what? I'm not even going to lie to myself this time. So anyway, yeah, that's them two. Feeling good. Things are going well. I think that they'll make a very nice couple. So that is all I have to say about these two. And again, I know that Chogun is kind of ending up the villain in his children's lives because of this like control, but he's coming from a place of like protecting them, and a place of like a fear of them losing who they are. So we are going to now go over to see Sarah. And Sarah is someone we're going to pay more attention to now because she is technically our matriarch because the boys are dead. But I'm not going to give up on the boys yet. I think maybe eventually we'll do the reincarnation thing, and maybe we'll have like Phineas be the child of Sarah, like reincarnated. We'll see where that goes, but I'm not really sure yet. But for right now, we're going to play both of the Sims. We're going to play Phineas and we're going to play Sarah, and we're going to see who ends up really being our heir. But also, Sarah and Martha, like, totally autonomously got a very high relationship. So, I mean, if you guys want to woohoo and do the thing, I think Sarah, for me, okay, two things. One, I'm worried now that Sarah's going to fail her young adult role. So Sarah is about to be a wild child and give us babies. But two, I think that we're going to explain that by basically Sarah has lived her life in England, very sheltered by her family. Now she's here in America. She doesn't have anyone kind of, parenting her. She's got Martha, who's just like apparently now her love interest, but like she doesn't have anyone to tell her what to do. Martha's kind of guiding her the best she can, but basically Sarah is one of those kids that's sheltered their whole lives and then goes off to college and is crazy. So Sarah is definitely going to kind of pull that in that, now she's free. Now she can do whatever she wants, and it's exciting and all of that. And of course, not one of the three men that I would consider eligible to be the father of her child have shown up. So first, we're going to start with Nathaniel. Of course, Nathaniel, because he's a terrible person. And of course, he would cheat on his wife. So poor Hope, but we are okay. Sarah also just disappeared, but poor Hope. Nathaniel is not a faithful man, and he's evil. He's going to do whatever he wants. He's going to be a scummy husband. So him and Sarah get to talking. We're just going to make them woohoo partners. It's not like they're interested in each other, but Sarah is so excited by all of this. Like, it's all shiny and new. There's a man hitting on her, and she can do whatever she wants, so why doesn't she? But yes, it's really just my fear of not having any Sims left, because I'm looking at the family tree, and it would be a very distant relative after Sarah here. I mean, unless we, like, went to go see Abraham and had him have, like, some babies, it would be a very distant relative. So I'm like, Sarah, you have 3 years until you age up into a young adult. You need to give me 3 babies. So poor Sarah, but she is going to get pregnant today with Nathaniel. She is going to be a bit wild for now. Maybe in the future she'll, get it under control. But I can't. Like, I did not think that both Phineas and Austin would die. So I can't trust that Sarah won't die. So we need the babies. Okay, so here we are in the next household. This is where Amos is having his birthday, and he is excited about becoming a teenager. And basically, you know, Nicholas is excited as well because Nicholas is an elder now. He's an elder now, and basically, they kept Amos because it didn't really work out for them with Jacqueline. Janice had plenty of children and had a life, but Nicholas never had any male children to kind of make his heir, even though it's so arbitrary to say that when there's like you own a house. Like there's no like legacy really for you to be passing on, but I think that they all kind of see Amos as their chance to you know, reestablish their family because the Phelps family, after Jacqueline was executed for being a witch, and after Nicholas and Muriel had their affair, and they had their affair baby that did not survive and everything, like they got outed, and it's just like their whole family has been in scandal for so long that they're not really like in the upper echelons of society, and they are kind of seeing Amos as this new opportunity to get them, their family and their family name back to where it should be. And so, of course, Nicholas and Muriel are already planning about Amos's future, but Mia is actually kind of like, look, you need to stop it. Like, you need to stop putting so much pressure on this kid. Like, he's his own person. She even, honestly, Mia wants to go get Lydia from the orphanage and bring her into the house, but they have said no because she's a girl and therefore is not important. But, like, Mia is definitely going against the grain here. Like, she already has a terrible relationship with her husband and with Muriel, and so she is not really afraid anymore to be like, I want Lydia back. I want you to leave Amos alone. Like, all of this stuff she is not afraid to say. So she is definitely the odd one out there. And then next, we are going to go see Austin and Delilah, who are continuing on with their relationship together. I'm going to give Austin the ability to ghost woohoo or whatever it's called. And so they are still, kind of seeing each other, even though he's a ghost, and spending time together, and, very much stuck in the past, I guess, or in the present. I don't really know. But, like, the two of them are very much still, in this honeymoon phase with each other, doing whatever they want. And whether or not that's healthy is another story. But also, Delilah is starting to think about her sisters and about finding them husbands. And of course, Hannah is like, I'm not interested in your help. Hannah's dying this year anyway. But Hannah's not interested in her help. But Judith is. Judith is like, yeah, I would love to, find a husband and all that stuff. And so my game's about to crash, and I just didn't bother to go back and record because I was already basically finished with the year. So the birthdays, which I'm going to explain to you before this video abruptly cuts off, is Canon Chet Waldrick becoming a child, Verity Hobard dying, Phineas Dubois dying, Silence Waldrick becoming a young adult, Jonathan Smith dying, Philip Hobard dying, Priscilla Dubois dying, Hannah Smith dying, Chenua Mashpee young adult, Amos Phelps teen, Melly Yazzie teen, Wamsuda Harper child. So that is everything. Again, my game's about to, it doesn't crash. It does that thing where like the screen, like there's supposed to be a pop-up, but there's no pop-up. But also I had a sim dying in the middle of it because I was killing the sims, and then it just didn't. Anyway. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Next one will be a recap video, and I will see you then.